Hello there everyone, welcome to this battle video over here. We have three stacks and change of Satake forces over here. Lots of Yari Samurai and high XP Bow Samurai with accuracy bonuses as well, and Bow Ashigaru. Led by multiple 4-star generals. And in the deployment, so I'm gonna be splitting off the army into two main groups over here. I know that the reinforcements are gonna approach from the eastern side of the map on the minimap. The enemy reinforcements, while my own reinforcements, I kept a few units outside of the fort on purpose so I could get the garrison units. You can see I have 2 Yari Ashigaru garrison units and samurai retainers with maxed out melee attack. And I usually don't put my fresh Yari Ashigaru outside the fort because they have no experience and their morale is really unreliable. But I'm committing to a plan over here. I want to rack up as many kills as possible on the Yari Ashigaru, get some experience and alleviate the morale concerns, and they'll have their general right behind them, giving stand and fight morale bonuses. And the interesting thing about this general is, yeah, Hidenaga, I believe, Tokugawa Hidenaga, he has the Warrior's Slaughter trait. Yep, I won a very costly victory very early on in this campaign. It's been quite a ride. So he has the War's Slaughter trait. So not only is he going to be boosting the morale of my own units, he's going to be instilling fear into enemy units. And I'm moving under the cover of trees over here. I'm going to take advantage of the slope and the tree cover to pull away all of the reinforcements to this section of the map. I want to avoid having all of their units converge on the fort. It gets really buggy in there when you have that many units climbing the walls. And I have the general on the other side. And those reinforcements that I brought in on that section of the map, they're going to be very helpful, and you'll see why in a bit. So first exchanges over here, yeah, them sending out light cavalry, and I'm putting my Yari Ashigaru into Yari wall just to try and end the fight as quickly as possible. And this is great because we're gonna get experience. This is what I want. I want free experience as quickly as I can. I already have 1 chevron on one of the Yari Ashigaru, and I should get another morale. I should get another XP rank on this unit over here. So already my plan is working out so far. Bring in the Yari Ashigaru to eliminate all the generals. We need to do a lot of shattering in this battle, and it's quite disconcerting or discouraging when you see that whole blob approaching in the distance just running. So I was second guessing myself a bit over here. Should I just pull back continuously? Thing is, I'm gonna, if I kept on pulling, I had this sort of dilemma. If I kept on pulling back my units, I would risk having the second army, the reinforcing army, reach the fort walls. But I don't want to do that. I want to pull my units out, bait them all onto the slope. You see, they're all taking the bait now. We have some, I believe Yari Ashigaru or maybe Yari Samurai coming in. And they've peeled off a general. But that's not the one I want. I want the main general. I want to get rid of the main general, and I'm warming this Bow Ashigaru, just trying to get rid of it. Making a tactical retreat over here, so I see the Yari, that Yari unit's slowly converging on my cavalry. Can't let that happen. I need to preserve these units. They're gonna be valuable. We're gonna have to do a lot with very little over here. That's not the main general. I don't care. I want the main general. And I'm bringing over Hidenaga. He's already giving his fear effect. And we should have some units beginning to waver. I'm bringing in the Katana Samurai as well to catch their own Katana Samurai. And we're not fighting on the slope on that section of the map, and I've completely neglected this part of the fort. I'm so preoccupied with what's going on outside that I haven't properly set up my defenses inside the fort. So normally I would have Yari Ashigaru down on the lower level, preventing units reaching my matchlocks, but I did not take care of that, so I had to send my Bo Ashigaru, improvise and send my Bo Ashigaru to intercept their melee units, just to give my guns more time to fire. Now already we have wavering units over here, banners, but this is not good enough. This fight against their general over here is taking way too long. And already we have some units, they're breaking, but they're not shattering, and that's an issue. I need these units to shatter. And that's the Bo Ashigaru that I sent to, in a sort of suicide mission, Bo Ashigaru Garrison, but that's literally the only thing Bo Ashigaru Garrison is good for doing, just a delaying unit. And still, for some reason, this general is holding really well against my Yari Samurai. That's really bad. Every second he is not dead is a second that I have units on this side of the map getting slowly worn down. And look, it's down to 2 men. The unit is not breaking, and he's still alive. And I need to make sure to kill him, because the way this game works is if the general's alive but he flees, the morale debuff isn't as large. The unit still won't shatter. I need him to actually be dead, not just flee. And you can see all the corpses here piling up. And what I really don't like about playing the Tokugawa is I just can't tell my units apart from the enemy units. Like at a glance, I have to take a split second to see what's going on and register. And still, this man is like made out of steel or something. He's not. Yeah, that is it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we got that piece is in place. I'm moving my reinforcing army towards the fort now. And now I'm a lot more confident. I'm being a lot more risky with my moves over here, because I know that I can shatter these units. And that light cavalry just shattered. They were barely contacted and they just shattered. And I'm gonna wheel about over here and just contact these units. Yeah, the Yari Samurai broke. The Bo Samurai. All these units are just breaking now. The morale debuff from their general being dead, and then on top of that their friends are routing. But it's still far from over. There's still a whole stack that's coming into the map. You can see there in the background. And I see this fight's not going well. I cannot advance on the bows. I just cannot advance on the bows. I need to preserve my men right now. I've already done my job over here, and I need to make sure Hidenaga stays alive. I cannot lose him in this battle. So I'm tactical retreat back to the fort. I'm gonna ignore those archers for now. Sorry about that. I just hit my mic while I was recording. And I could have handled the fight better inside the fort. Those matchlocks took way too many losses. I did not use them to their full potential. But the good news is my cavalry are relatively intact. I mean, considering what they've been through, they've held quite well. My katanas are worn out, but they can still aid with some flanking attacks, rear charges inside the fort. And even though their general is gone, they have such high experience that their morale is still pretty decent for the most part.
The men are fatigued, my lord, and some must rest.
And this is an issue when you're fighting. Why I would rather fight on the slope outside than inside the fort. Inside the fort, it's kind of a trade-off. Inside the fort, you have unbreakable morale in the Tenshu, but at the same time, you're fighting on flat ground, so there's no terrain advantage for your units. So you kind of have to pick, according to the situation, what you want to do, and then just commit to the strategy. The fort is usually really good for just holding out. Just having units hold out, get pinned down while you're dealing with other smaller detachments outside the fort. And what I said earlier about the color scheme getting really annoying, like you can probably see over here, I'm having difficulty like figuring out what to do.
and some must rest.
Bringing around my matchlocks to fire into the flank of these units. Get any morale debuff that I can, and get any one of these units to rout, and hopefully it'll cascade down the rest of the line. Yeah, we have some units shattering over here. Yep, we have a chain rout, a bit of a chain rout going on
My lord, and some must rest.
inside this section of the fort. And my reinforcing army has entered. They have arrived. The winged hussars have arrived. And then these archers, these pesky archers, have just come around into that pit area over there and starting to fire on my katanas. And it's still not over yet. I know it's not over yet. I have to be very careful over here and just reorganize.
The men are fatigued, my lord,
And now I'm trying to set up a bit of formation, set up some Yari walls. One of them has the matchlock Ashigar right behind them. We're going to try and make up for our mistake and give them some more targets. So we're just going to attrition them. We're going to rely on attrition. I'm picking the relatively fresh Yari Ashigar from the reinforcing army. I'm doing this. I'm switching units out for reserves because I need to preserve these units, like actually have them survive the battle. I can't lose units over here. I can't spend time recruiting new units. I need to go out on the counteroffensive right away. This campaign has been tough, and most of my money has been made through looting. So I constantly have to go on the offensive and pick off new targets just to replenish my economy. And that's because my daimyo Hirotada, I got 3 heroic victories with him early in the campaign, and I gave him maximum honor by like turn 20 or turn 25. So I'm taking advantage and looting as many cities as I can. I'm bringing the katanas around. Depleted katanas, they can still do some morale damage. Just charging unit in its flanks. They'll do well. And shattered. Yep, we got a Yari samurai that just shattered. Some more coming up the walls now. It's good though that I got the perfect weather for this battle because they don't get any fire arrows. Fire arrows would have made this a lot, like even messier than it is currently, and I might have not been able to pull this off. Because imagine if I was fighting outside the fort over there and those archers I was fighting at the beginning had fire arrows, that would have not gone down very well. Yep, and they're gonna charge my matchlocks, but they get caught on the Yari Ashigaru. The Yari Ashigaru doing its job, and the great thing about this is they have unbreakable morale, so I don't have to worry about the friendly fire causing them to rout. That's something you usually have to worry about with Yari Ashigaru in field battles. Rapid advancing the Yari Samurai. Yari Samurai on Yari Ashigaru, that's a good fight over there. I don't believe the enemy army has any katanas left, so my Yari Samurai can run around the fort unchallenged. Unmatched. And then there are these bow samurai who are climbing and are threatening my matchlock Ashigaru in the flank, so I'm bringing another Yari Ashigaru. I'm wheeling around the matchlock Ashigaru and bringing another Yari Ashigaru to meet the bow samurai. And the Yari Samurai is actually giving morale debuffs to the units inside the Tenshu, the enemy units inside the Tenshu, because it's the Yari Samurai is on the flank of those units inside, so it actually scares them as well. I don't know if that was intended or not for them to get morale debuffs even from units on the other side of the wall. But apparently it does. And it is so buggy. There's so many units. There's so many units climbing the walls that units are just freezing when they get shattered. And it's usually it's a bad thing, especially when you're trying to micromanage all this crap. But in this case, it's actually helping me because the longer they just stay standing still, the longer they get picked off by matchlocks. Charging down another Yari Ashigaru. This Yari Samurai has been so important to this battle. Using Yari Samurai to their strengths, picking off the enemy general, and then choosing targets opportunistically, taking advantage of their morale. Just imagine being one of these men over here climbing the walls, and you're greeted by a pile of corpses, your own friends there, hundreds of them, maybe thousands, and then you have guns having you in their sights. Like, of course you would just shatter right away. You would just run. And that is it. That is it. But I'm taking advantage of how buggy this is and giving my Yari Samurai the opportunity just to farm experience over here. I'm not content. I wanna see how far I can take this Yari Samurai. Look at all that. Look at like the corpses and then men routing. It is insane. Unfortunately, many of them are gonna survive. I wasn't gonna send my cavalry out. I figured that I had too few cavalry units left, so they're way too depleted for them to do significant damage. I want to see how many kills the Yari Samurai have. They have 630 and counting. I think that might be more than the Matchlock Ashigaru themselves. That is insane. Probably the highest kill count of all these units. Guns are slowly falling silent. That is insane. That is insane. And the garrison units getting over 500 kills is too bad. It's too bad that they're gonna reset once this is all done. Well, they did their job. I'm sorry. I'm thinking that I should have gotten a heroic victory for that.